Hey y'all, hope y'all are doing well. Okay, so today we are going over parallel lines and transversals. Okay, so in the picture below, lines X and Y are parallel. Okay, and line T is a transversal. Okay. Okay, so line X and Y are the parallel lines, and the one that cuts through it, okay, is the transversal. Now, X and Y are parallel lines. That means they will never ever touch each other, okay? They'll never cross, they'll never intersect, okay? Now, what do you notice about the angle measures? A list of which angles have the same measure. Okay, so we don't see any angle measures. We just see A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and H, okay? So one thing I know, though, is that a lot of these angles kind of look similar, right? So, like, look at angle A, okay, and then angle E. Well, they just made the same angle, right? If you take a look up top and down below, okay? These two angles are exactly the same, okay? So, we can say that angle A and angle E are the same. What else do we notice, okay? So if I erase that, what other angles are similar? Well, let's see. What about angle G? Okay, angle G and angle D look similar. Those are angle G and angle D. What else? We can do H and we'll C would be the same angle. Okay, so I want you to notice how these angles that I'm highlighting, and let me pick a different color, maybe it'll pop up a little bit better, okay? These angles right here, right, let's see, does that look a little bit better? Yeah, it looks a lot better. Okay, so these angles are the exact same, right? So angle C and angle H, and then we're left with angle B and angle F. Okay, so those are all the exact same angle. It doesn't matter what angle they were, if it was 80 degrees, 90, 180, whatever, it would be the exact same. Okay, so angle B and angle F. Okay, so label the inside of the parallel lines above interior and label outside the region of the parallel lines exterior. Okay, so what they're meaning by this right here, okay, this point, is imagine if you close these two lines together and you make a box, or like a rectangle, right? So this whole thing looks like one giant rectangle now, right? So what would be inside the rectangle? Okay, well, all of these angles are, these are going to be your interior, right? Like, if you think about a car, like the interior of a car are the seats, the steering wheel, the AC, the radio, whatever, okay? Because those are the things found inside the car. Now, the exterior would be something like the paint, the mirrors, the wheels, the trunk, all that, right? That's outside of the car because that's why they call it exterior. Okay, so everything on the inside of this imaginary rectangle box, if you just draw two lines connecting the parallel lines together, those are the interior. Well, now what's outside of the rectangle will be the exterior, right? So right here, these four, I'll go ahead and write it out here, are exterior. Okay? So, I'm going to go ahead and erase all of this so we can get on to our definitions. Okay. So, now it's telling us to go ahead and go through the definitions. Okay, so it gives us, 5 different kind of angles to look for right now. So the first one, a vertical angle. Pairs of blank angles formed by blank lines. Okay, so vertical angles, okay, are pairs of opposite angles angles formed by intersecting lines. Okay, so let's look for opposite angles formed by intersecting lines. Okay, so let's go ahead and see. Well, let's start with angle A. Now, what's opposite from angle A? Well, angle B is on its side and angle D is below it, so the only one opposite from it would be angle C. Okay, so angle A and C. Now, what about, let's do down here on the other side. Let's start at F, okay, and across from F, or the opposite of F, would be G. So angle F and angle G. Okay, so this little symbol right here kind of looks like a less than sign, right? But it has a flat bottom, right? That is going to be your symbol, your math symbol for an angle. Okay. So what is the relationship between the two? These two are congruent. Okay. Now, what does that mean? That means those two angles will be the exact same value, right? Because congruent means same. Okay. So now let's look at a straight angle. Well, what is a straight line? Okay, it would look like this. Right now, if you put your hand out flat, congratulations, your hand is now at 180 degrees because a flat line will equal, okay, 180 degrees. So angles that form a straight line, okay, remember it has to be straight, and add up to 180 degrees, okay. Now, when you have two angles that add up to 180 degrees, that means they are supplementary. Okay? Alright, so let's look at some lines or angles that would create a 180 degree angle together, right? So let's go ahead and erase this. Now, let's start with angle A. Which angle would make it 180 degrees once they're combined? Well, if I look right here, that's a straight line, right? So that means angle A and angle B would together combined would equal 180 degrees. Okay, so angle A and angle B. Now, what else? Now, of course, they don't have to be side by side because look down here. If I draw or if I shade in, that is a straight line, right? Well, what two angles lie on that line? Angle E and angle G. Okay, so they would make 180 degrees. Angle E and angle G. Okay, now again, what relationship do they share? Are those two angles going to be the same? Well, no, they're not because they're going to be supplementary. And remember, supplementary means that they add up to 180 degrees, so they would make that straight line, right? So alternate interior angles. Now, let's focus on the word alternate. Whenever you hear that word alternate for angles, I want you to think opposite, okay? Opposite sides or opposite angles, all right? So alternate interior angles. So again, if I draw that imaginary box right here, that imaginary rectangle, connect these two, all right? Now, I have a rectangle. What angles are found inside the rectangle? D, C, E, and E and F. Now, if I start with D, what's opposite of D? Well, C is side by side, so it's not opposite from D. E is below, or D is on top of E, so that's not opposite. But what about right here? F. They're opposite sides from each other, right? They're getting cut by that transversal, okay? So D and F, and then the other one, C and E. All right? So we have alternate interior angles. Angles inside the parallel lines and on the opposite sides of the transversal. Okay, so we said that was angles D and F. again, those angles, the relationship, they will be congruent. Okay? So, alternate exterior angles. Again, so we did the inside right here, so what's going to be the outside? Angle A, and what is on the outside of angle A? Let's go ahead and erase this. What's on the opposite side of angle A for the exterior? Remember, you can only use exterior because we're doing alternate exterior angles. So angle A and angle H. All right? So again, angles outside the parallel lines and on opposite sides of the transversal. Okay? So that was angle A and angle, let's see, angle A and angle E. And then angle, angle H, I apologize. So angle A and angle H. Okay? And then angle B and angle G. Okay? And again, those two angles will be congruent. Okay, so corresponding angles, angles in the same relative position or angles in quote unquote matching. Matching corners. Okay, so angles and matching corners. Now, what does that mean? So let's go up here. Let's erase this. Okay. Now, if I start at angle A, well, what is its matching corner going to be? So if it's matching, I would assume that they would have to be on the same side, right? So let's see. Angle A would make this angle. Now, what other angle makes that? Angle E. Okay? So angle A and angle E are matching corners, right? Now let's look up here. Where else do we see that? What about angle B? Okay? So right here and angle F. Okay, so angle B and angle F, you see how they're the exact same angle that they create? Look at the red line. Now, are they on the same side? Yes, they are. That's that transversal. If I look, B and F are on the same side of that transversal. So angle B and angle F. Now, what is the relationship between these two? They are congruent. Okay? So we will continue a practice on the next video.